All right, we are live. All right, y'all, welcome everybody to Growth and Goals Mindset. We are here today, we're doing networking and entertainment business with Dro and Jocelyn. They're gonna talk about where they came from, how they started, and how they maneuver around the industry to make things happen that other people can't, because these guys make it happen. Believe me. So what you have in front of you are the packets, and these packets give you simple tips on networking. This is for later read. If you got any questions about anything, the main thing to take from this, especially when working in the entertainment industry, especially, make sure you have your elevator pitches ready. Make sure you're able to describe what you want, who you are, and what you want to do quickly, to the point and efficiently. Articulate your goals. You know what I'm saying? You want to try to have that under like a minute. If you could get that under a minute to 2 minutes, you're golden, because that's what's going to get you in the door. Being able to articulate exactly what you want, where you want to go, and what's your why. Your why is the most important part of anything you're about to do right now. Always focus on your why. What's your story? What separates you from the person sitting next to you, besides yourself? What makes your business model, what makes your side hustle a little bit different from the person next to you? Or what makes you different from the next person? Are you going to hustle longer? Are you going to work harder? Are you going to be at the photo shoots when your artists are at the photo shoots? Are you going to do certain things that other people are not going to do to retain that business? So that's the main thing to get from this, but definitely take this home, look at it when you're on the train, when you're in a car, you know, bus, wherever you are, read it, go through it. And then in the back is another important part, track your goals, y'all. The most important part of your business, of your hustle, of your growth mindset is tracking your goals, writing it down, putting it in front of you, and marking them off. Every week you should have a goal. Every week, every day you should have a goal. Wake up, write a list, 5 goals for the day, knock that list out and get it popping. That's the best way to be efficient with your time, because that's what's gonna come down to, being efficient with your time, because we all have the same 24 hours, but what separates us is how you utilize those 24 hours efficiently. Make sure you do that. Like me, for example, I have a full-time job. I run a nonprofit called Why Not Care. I do growth and goals, and I have a freelance design business. I'm able to juggle all those things within a day because of efficiently tracking my time. You know, and I was just telling Joe earlier, I went to an Adobe conference, and they was talking about how the brain works for 90 minutes straight, and then it slows down, and then you gotta bring it back up. But you also gotta maintain that with your diet. Make sure your diet is on point, because your blood glucose levels are actually gonna determine if you're slacking or not. You know what I'm saying? So if you're eating 3 meals a day, what happens is your blood glucose level is gonna go high when you eat, and then it's gonna drop when you're not hungry. And what that does is it causes fatigue on your mind and your body. So you wanna be able to mitigate that and make sure that you're working at the most efficient level that your body can work in. Because your body is what's really gonna get you to, you know, that finish line. You wanna make sure you have a proper diet, little small meals throughout the day, keep your blood glucose level even, so this way you're not dipping and diving with your levels, and you're maintaining a clear, conscious thought process throughout the whole day. And also keep in mind your decision making. The mind does have a reservoir of decision making, where the more decisions you make, you're fatiguing out your brain the further along you go in the day. So it's about cutting down on decisions you can make by automating some things. For best example, Steve Jobs wore the same outfit for like 10 years. That was simply to cut down on decision making. Another person I met Thursday, Dr. Youssef, she cuts down her decision making by making the same breakfast every morning. She has the 5 same shirts in different colors. So she'll wear the same 5 shirts every day, different colors. She has 2 outfits for the conferences, and that's it. And in between there, she tries to minimize her decision making until it's time to make those important decisions. So this way, by the end of the day, she's not drained out and making decisions that she shouldn't be making. So that's another good thing to think about. A lot of times we don't really think about that. We're going on with the hustle. Sleep. 7 hours is very important. A lot of people want to work through everything and try to make it happen, but what happens to the body is, it's almost in direct correlation with being drunk. So when you're drunk, you make bad decisions, but you know you're drunk and you know you're making bad decisions. But when the body's fatigued, your body doesn't understand that it's fatigued, and it's making poor decisions because of that. But you don't realize that because you're fatigued. So that's another thing that's gonna directly play into your decision making, your phone calls, your emails. You're not gonna properly write. You might snap at a client that you don't want to snap at, that's gonna bring you business later on. It's always about how you react in the dark. That's gonna come to the light, and everybody's gonna want to work with you later on. Any questions so far? All right, so Dro's here. He's gonna get into it now, and if you have any questions, write them down, and we'll get to it towards the end of the segment so we can get through this. So here we go. We'll bring Dro up.
What's up, everybody? My name is Pedro Janal. Most of y'all know me as Dro. I am an A&R at Def Jam. I do a lot of consulting on various different things. I do artist management, and the networking is pretty much what got me everywhere I'm going. I have, probably up to high school education, and after that, I felt like I was gonna do music and be in the music business regardless since I was a kid. My mom is in the back. She'll tell you, I was 8, 9, I'm like, Mom, Puff. She's like, go to school. What are you talking about? I'm like, yo, I'm telling you, bad. She wasn't hearing it. But I knew that I had that in me. And regardless of what, I went for mine. In any little moment that I could, I went for mine. I'm talking like, if there were freestyle battles in the Lower East Side, and I was maybe 15, 16 years old, there was a bar called Spiral Bar on Houston Street. And I'm talking about, at this time, the Wu-Tang was coming through there, all the Nas people were coming through there, Little C's, and at this time, this is a major deal. Mobb Deep always hung out in there. I'm 15 years old, I'm running up in there, a lot of my brothers in the back, he'll tell you, we was in there. We weren't supposed to be there, we would pay a little extra to be in there. But because of that, it helped me with a friend of mine growing up with his rap career. He wanted to be a rapper, and I stood next to him, and the only thing that I always felt he needed was somebody to talk that talk outside of music. And I had to figure out how, and I would make it comfortable for him, like, yo, we're gonna go in here, we're gonna do it. Like, we were literally planning, look, you're gonna kill him and we walking out. We do not talk to nobody. We are walking out that bar after you kill him. We don't care if the bar felt like you won or lost. It was a plan. It was our networking move. That's what we decided to do, and we would do that. Whether we won or lose, we won, because it was our plan. And as we kept going, I kept going. Look, I would get in so much trouble. Because I'm 15, hanging out in the bar, watching Free, do all this hip hop stuff go on. But I gotta get home now, and I gotta face this woman. And it's 2 in the morning, and I'm sneaking in. Pow! What are you doing? You got school tomorrow. And I would do it again and again and again and again. She didn't understand, but I felt something inside of me. I felt something that I had to do this. This was my dream. This is what I wanted to do. And that same best friend that was doing the music thing ran into a situation where we started doing clothing. And growing up, I grew up with Martin all my life since elementary school. And I knew he drew, and I knew he did graphic design, because he would print me t-shirts from time to time for different basketball tournaments and things that we were doing. And then Martin decided one day to take some t-shirts, and I said, yo, make him a vampire t-shirt, because that's the name of his crew, and they're gonna be doing something. So he made him a t-shirt, and we gave it to them, and we performed somewhere, and they also went to Las Vegas to a convention. I don't know, back then it was called the Magic Convention. Now it's called the Agenda. And this is somewhere where pretty much for me, that was the first convention where networking really came to life for me, on a major scale. Mind you, I'm 17, probably 18. At that time, when we made them the t-shirts, when they went to Vegas, because Vegas happens 2 times a year, they do it like in the February timing and in like the August timing. Kind of like, you know how fashion is, you do spring, summer, fall, winter. So they present both. So they went out for the spring, summer one, and an investor fell in love with the t-shirt that we made. And he invested money into a brand, and we started a brand. And Mo sitting here could tell you also she was in high school with me. I think people thought that I was crazy, and I'm wearing my own shit. And people like, oh, I'm wearing it. I'm like, I'm in my own shit. And at the time also, we were moving around so well that my guy's manager, he was running the marketing for Mountain Gear. And Mountain Gear was in love with us and our crew, because like, you know, they just loved our energy and how we were moving around with all this stuff, and we had our own little brand. And you know, at that time, the video Black Rob video Whoa came out. And if y'all see Black Rob, he has like it's like a turtle mountain gear, like a big Gore-Tex suit. That's something that our people created, and they put it in the video, and Puff wore it too. So it was like, we onto something. People were looking at us like we were nuts. I knew people, like, I would walk by, I know people like, but I knew what was going on inside of me, and I knew what was happening. And that little t-shirt became a full-fledged brand. Martin goes to China, he learns how to do things like, he learns everything in the clothing business, and I'm learning so much. I'm doing graphics, I'm flying everywhere, I'm doing sales, I'm going to Vegas, and then that convention that I keep telling y'all about. These little conventions is like, we spend money day to day on things that we shouldn't spend it, and I know that. Sometimes, and now that we're at this age, I'm telling y'all, just save the money, don't spend the money. Go to your Google and find out a convention that interests you, and fly yourself there, or just go there. Because it's not about just what's happening there, the different activations, it's the people in that room. So check this out. Go to Vegas, 18 years old. This is my neighborhood. Got your own hotel room. You eating breakfast every day. It's being brought to you. Eating big dinners in the evening with all these investors and all these different people, and you dressed in your own dress. You know how good it feels? You know that feeling? And then at the convention, actually, you got Dame Dash is right here. Russell Simmons is right here. Puff is right here. Tommy Hilfiger is right here. I don't gotta go nowhere. This is the room to be in. So here's the problem. The problem is with us sometimes, everybody wants to meet Puff. Everybody wants to meet Tommy. Everybody wants to meet Dick. But there's 100 guys around them. And you watching them talk to these people. Meet those people. Meet those people. So you think that if you don't help that guy's right hand, you're eventually not going to be in the conversation sooner or later? You know what I'm saying? It's like, for instance, let's make an example. If I want to meet Jay-Z and I want to get close to Jay-Z, before I talk to Jay-Z, you should talk to Tata. Talk to Tata. Tata's his best friend of a bit less caliber that we all know Jay-Z is here. Tata's here with him, but it's more approachable. It's more realistic. Now you help Tata. You get into conversation with Tata. You mix, mingle, you bond. You create a relationship. And eventually, when Tata's having this conversation with Jay-Z, he goes, yeah, my man Dro. He put me on to, I think we're going to do this. Oh, well, that's a great idea. Bring him in. Let's talk. See what my network did? But it was also a chess. It was also chess. It's not, I'm not running that. Yeah, I know what my goal is, but I got to play the levels of this. I'm not just going to run to it. For instance, like how I met Jocelyn. I watched her go. I watched her create her world. Then I started watching people approach her. Jocelyn is probably one of the hottest PR people in this music business right now. And off sheer honesty and rawness. When I met her, she wasn't twirling this hard. And when I met her, I told her off top. And I met her through Instagram. I straight DM'd her. Yo, I like what you're doing. I'll probably dig in my phone. I can pull it up. I like what you're doing. Can we please meet up? Come see me in my office. She came to my office. I said, what's your plan? She said, Drew, I want to do this. I want to be the best at this. Eventually, I want to start my own company. I said, Jocelyn, here's 10,000 contacts for your PR company. Go. I don't do PR, but I have this. And here's someone who's hungry, and I'm watching her. And her word was her word. And every time we had to meet up, we met up on time. And every time we did something, we executed. Whether we liked it or not, we executed. We sat down the other day and broke down somebody's album the other day. And we figured out how to help that person. That's why I gave her 10,000 contacts with no problem, no charge. We can sell that for $10,000. How about that? Each contact at $1, if we want to make money. Every contact I send is active right now in the business. Every single person. And that's off sheer being honest, real, showing up on time, and just executing when it's being asked of her. Moving forward from where I left off on the fashion side of things, I got into music because I was already, as y'all know, I was already twirling in the music stuff, but things got tough with the clothing stuff. 9/11 happened, investor got scared, they pulled out the finances from the brand, and things went another direction. We held on as long as we could professionally, and then, being young, being fatigued, not eating healthy, and having negative around me, I chose to start doing negative things. And what did that cause? That caused me a felony. I caught a felony for selling crack. And that was probably what woke me up. Because here I was, a young man with a focused goal and a career, very career driven, and at that time I felt like this was taken away from me, but nothing's really taken away from you. You kind of know what's going on and when it's going on. And when you feel like you can't keep pushing that ball uphill, that ball comes down on you. Sometimes we gotta let things go. And when your negatives get negative, just let it go. You're adult enough to know, okay, I gotta start this over again. This doesn't work. You gotta start with what does work and what can help and what will push you forward. So after that, it was it was hell for me. It was a horrible time, but I had this thing in me. Again, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. One of my other friends who was helping me with the clothing stuff was a marketing guy. And he had just happened to get a job over at Shady Records. And my hunger was I was so hungry at the time to like change things around and get away from these people that I literally told him, bro, I'll start on the street team. Just get me in that room. I will start on the street team. And if you don't believe me, you can go check my Instagram at Drotori. You know what I'm saying? And you'll see, I was putting up posters in the winter. Now you're talking about somebody who's having, getting flown around the country, around the world, beautiful hotels, clothing, whatever, everything was given to me, everything was love. And then all of a sudden, I'm putting up posters and giving out flyers and putting up stickers in the streets. So you see that humble shit? You see when you get humbled, not you get humbled, you get humbled. Life humbles you. And I had to go through that because I was out of control. And the minute that I took control and said, I'm gonna do it, I took it by levels. And I knew that, okay, if I handle these responsibilities, okay, you're looking at the street team guy like, oh yeah, he's the street, bottom of the barrel street team guy. Cool. But I saw it like, okay, these are 5 boxes, I'm banging them out, these are a couple records, I'm gonna go give them to the DJs, these are stickers, I'm gonna post them out, I'm going home right after. No hanging out. And every day I came back to that office, I didn't go to the back of the office. I sat in the lobby and I waited for my work. As soon as I got my work, I was out that door. I did not treat that shit like, oh, I'm here to hang out. I want to meet Paul, I want to meet M. I don't want to meet nobody. Give me my shit, people gonna recognize me. I don't want to meet nobody, doggy. Straight up, and my man Alvon was like, yo, come to the back, come sit down, come do it. I don't want to. I don't want to. Give me my work, I want to go. And I come back and I take pictures of everything, and my pictures spoke for me. I never had to say nothing. Look, I killed the Lincoln Tunnel Road, I killed the Howard Tunnel Route, I did the whole Brooklyn Bridge, I killed Chinatown. What's up? What's next? Then what happens a few months later, they go, yo, we want to take you on tour. 25 major cities, this is 2005. The tour bus pulled up on the block to pick me up. And this tour had Ludacris, Lil Jon, Pitbull, Lil Scrappy, the whole G Unit, 50, M, and the whole Shady. This was the top tour of that year. 25 cities, okay, cool. Y'all know what happens on tour, right? Y'all know what goes on tour. Everybody tells y'all what happens on tour, right? I didn't go on about it like that. I didn't do that. What did I do? I went backstage, I met every artist manager. What's up, my boy, I'm Joe. If y'all need anything around here, let me know. I'm outside every day. I'm outside in the front of every stadium, giving out posters, giving out flyers, taking care of business. If you got anything, let me know. Then I start to use my clothing brand, all all my network and my clothing. Yo, fam, what's up with your brand? You still popping? Yo, send me mad clothes. Send me clothes. I'm gonna give you my hotel room to the next city I'm gonna be in. Overnight it. Now what? I got all my clothing brands and my contacts sending me clothing. I'm taking care of everybody. Every artist, every manager. The security guards are fly. I got the security guards fresh every day. So now my network, by the seventh city, everybody behind the scenes is with me. Everybody's like, yo, where's Dro? We need Dro for this. I wasn't twirling, I wasn't playing. I came to network, I came to lock in. Till this day, I still use those people. If I need a production person for a stadium or anything, I got that contact. If I need management and on any level, I have those contacts. I still have relationships with those artists. Actually, one of those artists is the reason why I got my gig up at Shady. It was Obi Trice. I played so close with Obi that it was times where, if there was a Showtime special, if you look it up on Google or YouTube, there's a Showtime special, Anger Management. You go to Obi Trice's performance section. At that time, Mesquite, the clothing brand Mesquite with all the painting on it, they were popping. And if you see Obi, he has a Mesquite t-shirt. That's because I made a call, had him send it up, and the Showtime special, everybody won. Obi won, he had a fresh shirt. Mesquite won. It had a brand on a big platform, Showtime. So after the tour was over, back in New York, handling it the way I'm still handling it, coming to the office, grabbing what I had to grab, keeping it moving. But now they're like, no, you gotta, like, no, that lobby shit stops. Like, they're like, no, you coming to the back now. We got, like, you got your hands totally involved around here. Now you're ready. But I'm not getting paid. I'm not getting paid just yet. I'm not getting paid. But check this out. At this time, like I told y'all, Shady G Unit, they got all these artists, so I'm getting all these vinyl records are sitting around. These records is at this time, vinyl's popping, the DJs are spinning vinyl. These vinyls are just sitting around. And I shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say this. I used my clothing network again. My guys who had stores had Japanese friends who loved vinyl, and they sent them to Japan and they sold them in Japan. So now I'm surrounded by 9 to 15 boxes a week of brand new vinyl. So I called one of my friends and was like, hey man, does Harada still buy vinyl? He's like, hell yeah, that's all he does. I was like, oh my God. So I said, how much does he buy each box for? He said, well, what do you guys? Like everything Shady, everything G-Unit, He's like, yeah, let's scoop those up for like $150 a box. What? Give me his number, send it up. Called him up, I told him the records I had. He bought 10 boxes over me at $150. Now I'm doing this every week, every other week. I'm like, and then what do? My partner, Alvin, who brought me in there, I took care of him every week. Thank you. Thank you for bringing me in. Thank you. And that's how I did it. 6 months later, that's how I maintain myself, and then Obi Trice starts to move around. He's getting ready to go on his album run, whatever. He calls the office. Hey Paul, is Dro there? Yeah, Dro's here. Can you send him on this tour with me? I want him to do this promo tour with me. I loved how he moved on the tour, so I want him to help me move around. Paul's like, I got one better for you. I'm gonna send him out. Dro, when you get back, let's talk. So I went and did the promo tour with Obi Trice, handled my business again, came back. Boom, Paul says, Dro, I would like you to be the director of promo for Shady. Yes. I got my gig at Shady Records because of just straight diligence, networking, and having my goals set that I had to get myself in this room. But that wasn't my overall goal. I did not want to be a director of promotion. I did not know what it was. Promotional person, director of promotions, or promotional in the music business is someone who goes to the radio stations and makes sure that your record is relayed to all the DJs, the programmers, and the music directors, and make sure that your programming gets played. And you do that city to city. And it was a great thing because it allowed me to travel and build my network. So now, when you're in another city or town, and you need something, or you need to go somewhere, or where do I shop, where do I eat, you just call me. I call my guys, I get you whatever you need. That's how strong I have my network, because I have it with every single So if Funk Flex is the top guy here, and then the other guy coming up is Drewski, I know the Funk Flex and the Drewski of every city around the world. And that's why I did the promo stuff, because it helped me build a network. So I did that up until, I would say, 2009, 10. And around that time, I just kind of like, I wouldn't say I wasn't into it, but it wasn't really for me. It's like, I did the 2-3 years, and then I started to use my clothing network again. And I went to go see a friend of mine one day up at his office, and he just started to represent G-Shock, the brand G-Shock. And I says to him, bro, that's what's up, man. I remember we were just doing the clothing thing, now you're doing this. This is fire, bro. He's like, Dro, thank you, man. Take a watch. So I took a watch and put it on. I'm like, yo, good looking. At that time, Paul calls me. He's like, yo, bro, we over here at Jimmy Fallon. Emmy's rehearsing. Come through, say what's up. So I go up to Jimmy Fallon, and I go say hi to the homies. What's up, fellas? And M sees me, and M's like, Dro, what's up? I'm like, what's up, big boy? Because at this time, he's going through, this is the recovery phase. This is after he almost died of drugs pretty much. But thank God he's strong, and he's where he's at right now. And he goes to me, Dro, I like that watch. So I says, take it, yeah, put it on. So he puts it on, and he's in the next room, and he's rehearsing. No, he's rehearsing. I'm taking pictures of him. As close as I can, I'm just taking pictures of him. You know what I'm saying? So as soon as I'm done, I shoot the pictures over to my man Dre, that I just finished leaving his office from getting the watch. I'm like, yo, bro, send this to G-Shock. Look what we just did, my boy. G-Shock took whiff of that and flew to New York the next week immediately. And sat down with us, and we had a meeting with them, and we spoke about how we could build the story. And then they did a product placement in one of the music videos. It was a Dr. Dre Eminem music video. And that music video yielded maybe like, at this time, this is 2010, 11, these numbers wasn't doing it like that, but this shit did like 100 million views in the first 2 weeks. So like, they're ecstatic. They've surpassed their number quota and the market that they wanted to reach out to. So like, now they're like, yo, what's the next step? And the next step was creating an ambassadorship program for Eminem for like 2 years for a whole bunch of money, and I made a lot of money off that project. And that was like one of the first things that showed everyone at the company that this is more than a street team kid. This is more than a promo guy. This guy understands what's going on, and he's using his network to create, because that's the most important thing. One thing I don't want y'all to walk out of here thinking is that you're chasing money. That's where you lose, because you're chasing a certain number that you're telling yourself in your head because you're trying to pay a bill. Stop chasing money. You're wasting your time. You're gonna be broke. Start chasing your vision. Start chasing things that you see, because it is all there. It is all there. It's all about communicating, talking, and staying positive with it. You're not gonna make anything happen overnight. Who does? The problem with making things happen overnight, so many people have bullshitted and lied and fucked it all up, that it's not real. It's not real until you see consistency. You see drive. You see professionalism. You see idiot-proof work. Your work should be idiot-proof. Yes, ma'am.
I just like the fact that you said that it's gonna happen overnight, and you said a keyword: consistency. Consistency get us what we want. Consistency get us what we want.
Correct.
Consistency help us keep it.
Always, because your grinds are always, your gears are always turning. Your gears are always turning, and gears always turning continued with me turning. As I did that G-Shock deal and we celebrated and we did what happened, I kept going out because I still felt that hunger. For me, my goal is to become a wizard in business, but I'm gonna start from the music side because it's where I fell in love and where I'm expertising at the time. But eventually, my goal is to go into any kind of company, especially Fortune 500 ones, and go just fix what they feel is wrong. Because what's wrong is really just communicating to your market and talking to them and satisfying them. That's all it is. My goal is to be a wizard in business. This is my start. This is where I've begun. I kept grinding and being persistent, and my consistency led me into a XXL freshman show one night. And at this show, a gentleman by J-Rock that's down with TDE is performing. And his final 3 minutes, he goes, I want to let my little man come out. Yo, New York, can y'all let my little man K-Dot some love? And here comes this kid, K-Dot. New York City, how y'all doing? My name is K-Dot, AKA Kendrick Lamar. Where the ladies at? Where are my fellas at? Can I give y'all a little bit of Compton love? That's all he had to do. I said, who's his manager? Who's with him? And they're like, who? J-Rock? I'm like, no. That kid. What's his number? Who's his guy? And I got the management of Kendrick's team. And the next day I go to Paul Rosenberg, hey man, there's this kid K-Dot, man. There's this kid K-Dot, Paul, there's this kid K-Dot. And Paul's like, yeah, okay, cool. Maybe a month or two goes by, and they're working on the Detox album. They're trying to work on the Detox album with Dre. And Paul calls me, hey man, Dre's working on this album. He wants to see some new Compton love. You got that kid's phone number? You got that contact? 2 weeks later, Kendrick is sitting front row seat at the Laker game with Dr. Dre. Cause my network kept going, and I kept moving around. And after I did that, I kept moving around. I run into this guy in the streets out here, and he's like, yo, I heard of you. I was like, yeah, I heard of you too, man. He's like, I see you doing your music thing. He's like, yeah. He's like, yo, here, take this. He gives me this CD, and it's like the first 7 songs of what one of his critically acclaimed projects is. And I hear the 7 records, and I'm like, shit, this is good, man. This is a little bit different from what everybody's saying. So everybody's like, you sound like Ghostface, but you sound good, bro. Like, I hear something here, man. So I go back to Paul, and I'm like, yo, Paul, this guy, man, this kid Action Bronson, bro. I'm like, Paul, there's something about him. And he's like, Dro, I don't know, man. That chef and, cooking and rapping, like, I don't know, man. Like, the last person I seen like that was, I was like, yeah, but Paul, this is different. This guy's like Michelin shit, man. Like, this is like gritty New York, Michelin star type of cooking, and it's more character based. There's something about this kid's gonna be a star, Paul. And we minded, I kept a relationship with him, and you kind of like, you cross paths with everybody that you're gonna cross paths with in your career. If you're a career person and you understand about being at the right place at the right time all the time, you're gonna cross those people who are at the right place at the right time all the time. So you're crossing each other as you go into these events that everybody's attending. And he and I kept crossing paths. And yo, Bronson, what's up? He's like, yo, just kick it with me. Fast forward about 6 months later, Bronson asked me to manage him. And I says, yeah, I would love to do it. So I go to Paul, like, yo, Paul, respectfully, I would like to manage Bronson. And he was like, let's do it together. Come on in, y'all. Come on in. So he says, let's do it together. So boom, we get together, we start managing Action Bronson. We start tightening up the business with him. We start building up stories. We start taking his YouTube cooking shows to real platforms, and now we start making shows. We start creating cookbooks. We start creating world tours. And this went on for a consistent 5 years of nothing but success. And the network that I got off that, incredible. I'm talking music agents, book agents, brands. So many brands from vaping to sneakers to pots and pans, like knives. Like, my network has become so crazy, and more media outlets, more social. Like it became a very, very thorough worldwide network. Like, literally, the way I had it in the U.S., I have it in the world now. If I land in London, people will come pick me up, take me. I can stay in someone's home. I don't even have to stay in a hotel. It's that thorough, the networking. All because of staying consistent, staying professional, and keeping my goal of wanting to be the best music businessman in the business. There I studied my management years. Prior to that, I studied branding and cross-branding. Prior to that, I did promo. Prior to that, I was on a street team. Do you see how I'm networking here? Now we twist and turn around, and Paul becomes the CEO of Def Jam. And he asked me, where do you see yourself thriving? And I said, let's do A&R. Let's do A&R work. And for the last year, I've been doing A&R work at Def Jam. And I've signed several artists. I've created a program called Undisputed, which led me to have been interviewed by Billboard Magazine, Forbes, Rolling Stone, Complex, several others. I've done multiple podcasts and radio stations. Like, it's something that's helped me create myself, my branding, and in an outward way to help bring in other people, to help consult, to help network, and to help keep my life going. So currently, that's where I'm at. I'm an A&R up at Def Jam, and I continue to twirl in the works of becoming the best in the business. That's me. Any questions? And like I said, in my quest to that, I keep networking, and I do not want to get stuck. I am 36 years old at this time, but I keep youth around me, and she keeps me going. She keeps me young. That's my girl. Jocelyn, come up here.
Okay, that's a lot. Okay, I mean, I want to start by saying that last year I was sitting right here, learning, taking notes, with my papers, right here, listening to him, listening to everybody that was coming up, you know, because I just love to learn, and I feel like that's the most important thing. Okay, so I'll start off by how I got started. So I graduated Binghamton University a year ago. I was kind of just like writing and just kind of doing things with different artists because I felt like there was tons of artists out here that just needed help, and I wanted to figure out how I could help them. But I knew that I needed to kind of expand my network first. Okay. So I started by blogging. So I started blogging for like 20, 40 hip hop sites, like just talking about new artists, talking about new stuff that's going on, just kind of like just keeping my name out there. I figured what that'll do is just keep people reposting me, keep people talking about me, keep people tagging me, and then I figured like my Instagram numbers will go up, and that'll kind of like make me more legitimate. Because I figured, you know, I'm looking at what people are doing nowadays. I'm like, the Instagram numbers and all that, that's what it is. Oh, man, I'm trying to move around and stuff.
You made it to the left.
But yeah, so a lot of artists started to share my articles. They really liked what I was doing. They liked what I was talking about with them. They wanted their own articles. And then I'm like, okay, let me try to make this a thing. Like, let me try to like package this up, make it something, because a lot of people are asking me for it. So at the time I was in college, so I'm like, okay, I need to make some money, because I mean, I'm a college student. So I'm like, okay, cool, I can write about y'all for like $20. Like, you know, I'll do a little article or something like that, like get on the phone with y'all, really talk to you, come to your studio session, something like that, just to get to know you. Do a little show, something like that for y'all to just get out there more. So I came down from college one time and I threw a little show. A ton of people came and I'm like, okay, this is a thing, like people like this stuff. All right, so let me start doing more of these. I started doing the shows and started writing about them. But like I said, I was away in college for like 3 hours away. So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna be able to be there a lot for this, so I'm gonna just try to do the best I can. A lot of these publications really liked my writing, so they started to like put it on bigger sites and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, my name is going crazy and I'm not even there. So what else can I do? Like, what else can I do to keep myself going? So I just started DMing everybody, like every A&R I saw, everybody that worked at a label, whatever. I just started, I had a little template. Good morning, my name is, you know, this is what I do. I don't really know what I do, but I was saying stuff, you know, I do something, right? So one of the people I hit up was him, you know. So I just started to I'm like, you know, like, y'all gonna give me some type of opportunity. I know how to write very well. I'm very organized. Like, I know music very well. Something, y'all gotta give me some type of opportunity. A lot of people were like, okay, you know, when you come back and you graduate from school, we're gonna figure it out, whatever the case may be. So when I finally got out of school, I called my friend, she right there. I told her, look, I'm not getting a job. I'm not getting a job. I'm gonna just figure this out. And she's like, you crazy. I don't even know what you talk about. But I'm like, I feel like I could do something. I feel like people are gonna come to me. I just feel like it. I don't know why. I don't know I don't even know what I know how to do. I don't even know what public relations is like that. but I'm gonna figure it out. So I just started I'm trying to think of like what I really did, like tangible. But aside from like, you know, continuing on Instagram, I literally just kept on writing until like I couldn't write anymore. I'm like, I'm gonna write about everybody, I'm gonna write about events, I'm gonna go to other publicists and say, look, I'll write about your artist, whatever I could do. I'm like, I don't know what I can do specifically, but I know I could write. So fast forward, this is like February, somebody reached out to me and they're like, oh, like I wanna throw a show. I know like a bunch of artists follow you or whatever, I wanna throw a show. You think you could throw it with me? I'm like, alright, I guess I throw shows now, you know? So I threw the show, this was in February, threw the show. I invited all the A&R people that I was talking to. I'm like, yo, come to the show, I'm about to have a bunch of like new artists. And I really curated the show in a way that I felt like, you know, every artist that followed, I really wanted them to like sound good next to the person that came before them. So I really took my time and like listened to the artists. I'm like, you know what? This might not even be a big show, but I'm gonna treat it like it is, you know? So I took my time, I really like curated it in a way where it was just like, wow, this is a concert. So people, after the show was done, people were like, this is a concert. Like, this is really, these artists are really dope. So fast forward to the show online, like we selling tickets. I'm wild, like I'm just selling tickets now. I'm like, this is my first show. Like people are like, you selling tickets? You just really doing it. I'm like, whatever, I'm gonna do it, right? So 150 people bought tickets online. I'm like, wow, I'm lit. This is lit, right? The day of the show, 500 people come. It's crazy, like it's super packed. I'm like having panic attacks. There's a lot going on. I'm like, I don't even know how these people came. My mom was there, you know, my mom right there. She was there, she's like, what's this? I'm like, I don't even know. So what that show kind of propelled everything for me, I could say, because like a bunch of people from labels and companies and all that, they're like, who are you? I'm like, I just got out of school 2 months ago. I don't even know. I'm just doing what I do, right? So basically that day, okay, so somebody from Atlantic Records came. They ended up taking somebody and signing them from the show. Somebody from Empire came. Somebody from, basically every label was there. They had jackets on. It was a real thing. So everyone was looking at me like, how'd you get them to come? Because I know how to write. I know how to talk. So when I DM'd them, that message was like, all right, I'm gonna come. Well, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm gonna come. So they really showed up. But I do want to say the first thing that really kind of like just brought like a light to my like situation and kind of made me really want to do this was Dro, because like what happened was when I sent him that message, it's crazy because I was literally walking around like Canal Street, like, because aside from DMing, I'm a really like on the ground type of person. Like I really go to these people and I meet up with them, whatever I gotta do. Like I said, I didn't have no job. So I was like, I got all the time in the world. I'm out of school, I got my degree, I can do whatever I want. So I was literally on Canal Street. I think I just met with somebody or whatever, at a little coffee shop. He hit me like, yo, pull up. I said, absolutely. What you mean? Yeah. He like, how fast can you be here? I'm like, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you need. Like, so I ran down the block. I'm hitting my friend. I'm like, yo, the guy from Shady Records, man. He told me pull up. It's crazy.